welcome. You're watching Business Television India, and we are now, of course, going to do a show with a very special guest who's today in our studios. Porinju Veliyath joins us in our Mumbai studios to talk to us about what he feels about the markets. Morning, Porinju. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. To start up with, Nifty is at 10,000. The last 6 months have been a party, to say the least. And it's not just us. I mean, this is a synchronized global rally that we've also been part of. What I want to understand from you, of course, when markets rally up to over 20%, there are sectors of the market that believe the markets potentially are topping out. And it's probably time to turn cautious, take your profits off the table. But I believe you're on the completely other side of the spectrum where you think the markets are now beginning to bottom out. Can you elaborate on this?
Yeah, I feel, markets can be looked in both ways. If you see the last 10 years or maybe since that crash happened in 2008-9, that's a period of time when people, when look at the market, that from that point of view, it is something like the peak of the market. But that's the wrong way to look. It's a postmortem. So if you're looking at next 5-10 years in India as an equity investor, from that perspective, I have been maintaining that when it was 9,500, I was telling we are going to reach the bottom of 5-digit Nifty. So the 5-digit Nifty has happened. It may take some, there could be some time of consolidation, or there could be some 100, 200 points moving up here and there, up or down. But that's not important for investors. But at 10,000, we are at the bottom of the market. If you see next 5 to 10 years time.
Porinju, let's start with what a first-time investor should be doing. I'm sure there are enough and more people out there who believe that they feel left out and are waiting on the sidelines for some sort of a correction to enter these markets. Do you think that's what they should do, is wait on the sidelines, or that's probably a wasted exercise? It's just time to go out there and buy whatever you can.
Investors should not do both these things at all. Okay. Never wait for correction, never sit on the sidelines. These are two bad things investors can do in Indian markets for next 5-10 years. Because structurally we are in that kind of a situation, environment today, economically, even investment-wise, and both technical aspects of the markets and the fundamental aspects. Now everybody is worried about the numbers, the corporate earnings. Nothing is seen, as you when the chat you were talking, nothing is seen on the ground. Businessmen are not happy in general. I don't really agree with that. See, after the demonetization and the related activities, it's a very thought about action by the government to bring down the black element of the economy, the unorganized sectors of the economy, and to bring down the corruption. These all are very important if you have to really go to the next orbit of growth as an economy. And this is very important if you have to reduce the poverty. We have got 500 million poor people in this country still. We never helped them in the last 70 years. Our politicians failed to bring them up, other than making the slogans of Garibi Hatao and kind of nonsense. They never did anything to bring them up, to make them live comfortably. So now, that is why I'm telling you the new government is doing something very, very interesting. Okay. They are looking at the economy from a long-term growth perspective. Have to bring up these 500 million people in India to a comfortable living standards. So it cannot be done in a quarter or two, or not even in 1 or 2 years. It takes time. So you have to do certain strong and perhaps difficult decisions for this kind of long-term theme. So I think government is in the right direction. Now, so our economy is structurally changing, as I have been always putting it. So investors have to see the markets, see the economy from that perspective.
Right. Porinju, let's talk about returns, right? Because I think that's what most people want to know. If I'm going to put my money into the markets today, in the next 5 to 10 years, what is it that I can expect? Historically, I know our inflation has been running in almost double digits, on back of which, I mean, of course, this is data. The market usually does a 2 to 3% beta on that. Above that, the alpha created by mutual funds is another 2 to 3%. And we've managed to do about 20 to 22% kind of returns on a CAGR basis. What happens going ahead? Your inflation is in very low single digits. The markets have already done a run-up in the last 6 months. I know that's no benchmark to go by, but if it is inflation which measures the return, the real return on equities, do you think the future is going to be as glorious? Do you think double-digit growth is very, very likely on the table in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, looking at these macroeconomic indicators, the factors you have been talking, I feel things are going to be much better.
Okay.
Not as good as the past. Things are going to be much
Than the
better.
past. Okay.
Yeah, see, here the citizens in India, they have been even suffering. One of the aspects was the purchasing power, the buying power of rupee has been declining all these last many decades. Of that has stopped now. So the inflation, the high inflation will be history going forward for next at least 1-2 decades. So there are many such structural change happening in the economic aspects. And the high interest rates, businesses became many of them went bankrupt because of this high interest regime. So all these things are going to be more balanced, more healthy, economically going forward. So that is again another healthy trend for capital formation.
Right.
And for equity 3, now we have just crossed $2 trillion kind of a market capitalization.
Yeah.
It is going to be $5 trillion market capitalization in next 5-6 years time. So that I am very confident.
Right.
We have challenges, not that I am telling we do not have any challenges.
Yeah.
There are challenges, especially with regard to the employment.
Yeah,
Unemployment is
stands
going to
all-time
be
high.
the biggest issue,
Yeah.
which I talked some time back.
Yeah.
We have 20 million youth coming out of higher studies. When I say higher studies, ITI, polytechnics, and engineering, whatever, all those things, they are ready for a job. And where are the jobs? Government cannot bring in jobs with the political decisions. It's a long-term process. If there is no job today, it is a problem or the mismanagement of 5 or 10 years ago. It's not that these jobs cannot be created all on a sudden. So there is a major issue. How India is going to accommodate these 2 crore youngsters who are very ambitious.
Right.
A lot of them have got educated, taking loan from the banks.
Yeah.
So how are they going to repay that? So these are the major challenges. And this is the highest ever number of students coming out of campus. And next year this may grow by another 4-5%.
Right.
So these kind of challenges, this is real macro long-term challenges ahead. So how to accommodate these youngsters, whether these youngsters will, when they get no employment, whether that will increase the criminal tendency, the social crimes and social unrest in the country. So there are a number of such kind of issues. Coming back to the economy, see these structural changes, when the economy is moving more towards organized sector and more towards from black to white economy, and from so there will be a huge change happening in the structure of listed companies. We have thousands of listed companies in India. I'm talking about mid caps and small caps. A lot of them are changing already because of the new generation taking it over, which I have been talking many times. It's not something new I'm talking. And so now the economic changes happening, the structural changes happening in the economy, from black to white and unorganized to organized. Some of these companies will be forced to change. See, typically we had many of these family-run companies had a habit of siphoning of profits to avoid paying tax, and they used to convert it into black money and buy land and kind of, it was a very bad scene, which has in fact affected India's economic growth in the last many decades. Yeah. So that's also changing. Now people dealing in large amount of black money, they are going to be scared about it at least, and there won't be any initiative, any incentive to keep or deal in large amount of black money. Right. Rather, there is a risk of being caught. Right. And this risk of being caught is perhaps first time in the country.
Right. So the
earlier politicians, they were part of it. Basically, I'm not telling any particular political party. So basically the politicians. Yeah. Right. So they were part of this corruption, black money, land deals, and all the hawalas, everything. So that system is changing now. Right. There is a clear-cut, strong, difficult decision seems to be there at the top of the government.
And I guess that's
for controlling all these kind of bad things for the economy. So this will go a long way. Don't underestimate the impact of this revolutionary changes happening in the structure of the economy. Right. So this will take not only the economy forward, the corporate world. Many of the companies
will fall in line.
Already those companies which are ethically and professionally managed ones, the large companies in the Nifty or Sensex kind of, they are in a different league. But my focus is on that remaining companies. A lot of them are Yeah, that is where the big money is.
Right, so does that mean, so I mean, if you talk about your investment strategy right now, what do you advise individuals to do? Adopt a top-down approach? Would you pick solid management, low debt, well-run companies, or would you pick the dark horse where there is a potential, but of course challenges are umpteen as well?
These are basically, I don't believe in much of this theories, top down and all those kind of things. These are basically meant for MBA students, not really practical in the equity market. If you want to make money, create wealth by investing in Indian equities, first of all, you have to be unbiased. You have to be unbiased politically, economically, coming to the corporate world. You have to be open-minded. You have to be open-minded and free yourself from all these kind of constraints. Some of those theories of value investing which people have been propagating from USA, whatever, it may not be really worth it. They are very nice to discuss about it, but when you coming to stock picking, see, I would say investors should focus on stock picking. So here we are, there is a disruptive world out there. Technology disruption is going on. So many of these companies, what we have today, they will not exist after 5-10 years. So you cannot just go and generally buy the stock markets. Some people say, can I buy mid caps now, or is it time to buy small caps? These all are stupid questions.
Right.
There is nothing like small caps and mid caps. There are companies. Can you buy stock A or stock B? That is the question.
Right.
So that should be the only question.
Right. So let's